But I want you to know, sweetie, that the pastors, they have a good I want you to know that pastors, we have my third chapter.
All right, listen in, bro.
After God hard.
Who was that? Hassan?
Thank God for people that are after God hard.
B?
Not hungry for money. They may be concerned about you. They want to see you prosper. They want to see you heal. They want to see you blessed, your family blessed. Thank God for these pastors. Amen. The pastors that are after God hard. The Bible tells us in Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter, verse 15. The Bible tells us that these pastors, they are going to feed us. Sweet, not entertain us. They're going to feed us with knowledge and understanding. Well, Brother Lee said that my time is up for today, but I will be back tomorrow. Amen. And never again. I'm going to continue to teach y'all. I'm going to go out how to pray with respect. Our word for today is Psalm 118, verse 24. Sweetheart, I want you to tell yourself that God made this day. Rejoice. Rejoice now. Rejoice and be glad in this day. Thank you, Brother Lee, and we will see you tomorrow. God bless you.
Yes.
When there's a dynamic session of faith, we want to give you our order of service. Our Sunday school starts at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Our Sunday noon worship service starts at 12 p.m. We have a Sunday night service at 8 p.m. This is a service of faith being elevated. So if you want your faith to be elevated, we tell you to come out, praise God, on a Sunday night. Also on Wednesday night, praise God, it's for to learn who you are, what you have in Christ, and the authority that you have in Christ. We tell you to come to our Wednesday night Bible study. Also on a Friday night, praise God, we have our Friday night service at 8 o'clock, praise God, this is a healing service. If you want to be healed, come, praise God, out, praise God, on a Friday night. And also on a Monday to Friday, praise God, from 10 a.m., praise God, to 11 p.m., we have prayer daily. On a Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night, we have prayer from 9 to 10. Now remember, God is greater than any problem that you have. So in our post, we tell you to have faith in God, and truly, everything will work out, praise God, for your benefit. If you can continue to have faith in God.
It's the new mix, 10 a.m. WUFOAM.com, Amherst, Buffalo.
That's right, good one. That's it.
Black is so beautiful.
Back to the pot.
I tell you. Oh yes.
Dig it.
All I see is black.
The opinions heard on Conversations with Jim Anderson are not those of WUFOs, its advertisers, or management. For the next hour, you're invited to listen to Conversations with Jim Anderson. Jim encourages you to call in at 716-837-1112. That's 716-837-1112. And now, here's Conversations.
Hey, good afternoon, Buffalo, Western New York, and points beyond. You were listening to Conversations with Jim Anderson. We got another great show. You know what I always say, there's medicine over the air. We got the doctors in the house, and I'm going to introduce them to you in a little bit, and they're going to run on and tell you some things that you need to hear. You know, let me just say a little bit of something about my guests. Now, they may not be on every billboard, but I guarantee you, if you've been out and around the community and engaged in progressive work, you've seen this young couple. And I mean, they're dynamic. You know, when people talk about a quiet storm, they are a storm, and they move quietly. They don't press up on nobody, but don't push them. And I'll tell you something else. They got mad talents, multiple talents. And what caught my eye first is I kept seeing them around Buffalo, filming things, doing in their own right what some people would call documentaries, because that's the kind of work they're doing. They don't have to go, look, you don't have to go far and pay a bunch of money to learn how to do it. You just bring it from your spirit and engage. You know what OJT is? That's the way the world was built. So without further ado, I got Missy Recycle, and those of you up close know her as Chantel, and I got brother who goes by Say Buffalo First, and those are close to this brother know him as Harpo. So we're gonna roll with them. And I told you, if you saw my Facebook post, they're young and what some people would say upcoming leaders, but I want to tell you, not only are they up and coming, they're here and now, and they bring it. Now, everything we do on this show today will basically be a production of theirs, and they do a family thing. I'm telling you, so every component is working in that. You can join us at 837-1112. Now don't rush. Let them start cooking and let them start dropping some sugar to you, and good sugar, healthy sugar, brown sugar. So and then you can call. But I'm looking forward to this conversation. The spirits are strong, and their presence is always illuminating, and I can't say enough. And so I'm gonna say, how you doing, Missy? And how you doing, brother? Say Buffalo first.
Yeah.
Chantel and Humphrey. So tell the folks a little bit about yourself, and then we'll continue on.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to come here today and lift our ancestors' spirits. It's an honor. My name is Chantel Franklin, as you stated. They call me Misty Recycle. I am born and raised in Buffalo, New York. I am an entrepreneur. I have my own recycling company, and I'm also a community advocate. So that's what I love to do. I advocate for the environment, and I also advocate for community. So.
Oh wow, that's cutting edge stuff, because everybody talking about the environment, from the climate to the water and the land.
That's right.
And Brother Harpo.
Yeah, my name is Harpo. Man, I'm just an individual who, see things in my community that I know I have within my power to change, and my spirit, the spirit inside of me, the spirit in my ancestors is calling, running through this community very thick, man, and that ancestral spirit that, is inside this community is, working with me in Chantel, man, and we just doing our ancestors' work.
Well, that's true, Dan, and I bear witness to it, because, like I said, folks, they haven't been out there trying to showbiz entertain, become the center of attraction. They just been doing what they could do. They come spirited, and they come sing well, because this is the thing about doing the work in our community. Nobody should have to send you an invitation to stand up and deal with issues that are happening in our community. And I'm telling you, Chantal and Harpo both show up on the scene. And when I said to you, those of you who have been around and been out there in the progressive streams, I'm sure you've seen them. Now, we're going to cover a lot on the show today, and you heard Missy talk about the fact that she is an entrepreneur, and she is. They have a young entrepreneur empowerment program. And what's sweet about this, see, here we go, y'all. We're not talking about old folks. We're talking about young folks who are doing it. And you know what? You can help. I wanted them on today because I wanted to be a shoulder. Everybody talking about we standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. Well, we need some living ancestors to lift up some living young folks so they can go higher and do more, because everybody want to go back to the ones who already rested. And I'm saying right now today we need to be lifting them up, and this is a lift up program. So that's a message to all y'all. Now there are some serious tracks that they have been into around the whole education piece, the whole turnaround plan. They've been involved with, you can't talk about what's happening around this whole thing, incarcerating our young people and then making the transition from halfway jails to whole jail back into the community. And so they've been looking at some of the blockage there. And one of the blockages is that we don't have a lot of transitional counselors to help our kids get back home. And so I'm gonna ask them to just tell us about some of the things you're working on, and then we'll just go on. And let me drop one more thing, because I know there's an issue about the citizens participation thing that the city does, where you can go in the Citizens Participation Academy. And there's a story there, and hey, we just speaking truth, y'all. So, talk to us about some of those issues. And you don't have to be shy. Use that park voice, and
let my queen go first.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to touch on something though. When you first said that I am an entrepreneur, we are entrepreneurs.
There you go.
We work together. We are a team, and I feel as though that's really, really important. That we as Black women, African American women, melanated women, however you want to say it, we have to learn how to uplift our men. And when you find a man that has talent, when you find a man that has that drive and that oomph that you do, you better support him. You better support them, for real, because we need more men out here like that, that's not afraid to stand up to the quote-unquote higher-ups, and who will stand up for the children, who will fight for the children before they fight for a stash that you stole.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Now, people they'll kill you over their stash.
Yeah, exactly.
But how many of y'all willing to kill over y'all kids?
See,
and that's the thing.
That's another point another jewel in your crown, because I've seen how intimate you are with young people in helping them to not only see right and hear right and do right, but the encouragement is like there's a warmth. I was watching y'all the other day at the library, and as you were dealing with the young folks, I'm like, it is just the best word. It is sweet, and it's encouraging, because that's what we're supposed to do. The book say, feed my lamb and the sheep. You know who the sheep anyway. But I'm saying, they deal both. They deal with the sheep, but they also got a tender touch with the lambs. And I'm telling you, that's what we need more, because everybody want to act like folks in your generation, because they are part of what some folks talk about millennials, but they way beyond that. And I want to thank you. We need that kind of visibility, and what you just said, Missy, about making it very clear, they together.
Well, thank you.
So, getting down to the nitty gritty, you spoke of the transitional counselors concerning our kids that's in behind these bars. We got this big thing going on with the school to prison pipeline, you know what I'm saying? So we did our homework, we did our footwork, and we ran across Title I, Part B, Federal Funds for Neglected and Delinquent At-Risk Youth. I guess it's a PowerPoint. And it breaks down the neglected and delinquent structure of the Buffalo public school system. Now, I'm here giving awareness because, I believe we have a high incidence of our youth being incarcerated. And for the Buffalo public school system to only have one transitional counselor to assist, the multitude of kids that's incarcerated, I believe that the community should help in and help that counselor and help the system, because it is in desperate need at this point in time.
And not only that, if I could touch on something regarding that subject, I found it puzzling that they only had delinquent and neglected programs that were outhouse. They don't have anything that will prevent the child from becoming
prevention
right. They don't have any prevention.
Right.
They call
Only
it,
after
I guess,
you get
the
in the hole.
intervention.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Once you get in the pool of becoming that delinquent, now they can assist you, but there's nothing that they have set in place to assist you from becoming a delinquent. So that's the catch-22 to me with that program.
It's sort of entrapment. It's sort of
Exactly.
like saying, well, we won't
Help
try to do
you
nothing with
until
you
you get
until
in
you
trouble.
get messed up, because we get
Right.
money that way. We
Right.
make money on
Right.
if we can put trouble by your name, we make money.
Exactly, because I guess if you think about it, there's no money in it if you're not. They can't make money off of you if it's not involving something negative.
You got that right.
And that's sad. So that's why I'm trying to get rid of money. Period. I learned how to live without it, and I'm telling you, I'm a whole lot happier.
Dig it. And now they ain't talking what they're telling you. They don't have to chase money. Whatever gifts come their way is receivable, but you can't buy them. And for the kind of work they do, they don't actually be paid. It's a spirit thing that's coming from the heart.
The universe takes good care of us.
You hear that?
The universe.
I know a brother that some whole long time ago, he talked about, he never seen the birds of the air hungry for bread and stuff. And I, you know, and
That's right.
and you know, I do believe that, you know, if you're doing right, you don't have to worry. You know, in fact, you can't get nothing by worrying. And you know, all you folks out there know that.
Working
You know the
causes
book.
stress, and stress what? It kills you.
Okay, let me get to the Citizen Participation
yes, let's
Academy.
continue.
Yes, you know, it's a class coming up. We have the applications. The city has the application as well. We call 311. You know, you can ask the city to forward you an application to participate in the Citizen Participation Academy.
And let them know that if they can't obtain the application, like we had a hard time doing at one point in time, we do have several copies of it. So you can give us a call at 716-235-9717 or 716-462-1565, and we can forward you that information.
Yeah, and we're gonna through the show, we're gonna say that again, because here's the thing. You gotta learn how the system functions before you can make change. You can't stand outside and say, oh, the system all messed up.
Right.
You're not qualified to say that if you don't know where the jam is,
Right.
and if you don't know how it works. So going through the Citizens Participation Academy gives you a chance to sort of like see in between and learn something. And you know what? It don't mean you just gotta go for everything. I was gonna say you don't have to go for everything they put before you. In other words, you need to hear what they say, but you also need to recognize what you see and what comes out of
Right.
you in what you're seeing. So, you know, and this is how you begin to learn some of the stuff needed in making change. So
Right. It's a way to find your niche too.
Right.
A lot of times.
Exactly.
You know, this may be something that this class or this program, academy, can introduce someone to wanting to now become the next mayor or
You know,
become a lawyer
you
or
see.
just another advocate who now knows the rules and knows how to go about helping another person
You know.
overcome their obstacles.
That's right.
That's
And
what it's all about.
And you don't, think about it. If you got any kind of program or club or group where you have young people, you need to start encouraging them to start gearing themselves towards leadership.
That's right.
Leadership comes with participation.
Self-sufficiency.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Okay.
And let me hurry up and add, because we only got a little bit of time.
It's all right.
The Outsourced Center for Human Resources is working with us. They allow us the opportunity to hold our meetings periodically there. So, we have an ongoing relationship with them, and they've been very supportive in the positive things that we do throughout the community. And, I would like everybody to support the Outsourced Center because there's a lot of positive things that's going to be coming out of there.
Definitely.
It would be great if there was some tours in the community of all these messages where young people are really getting it on the right kind of way, where opportunities exist. Folks be saying, I don't know what's happening in the community. There's some jewels here. I got two of them in studio right now. And I'm just saying, they're gonna get their numbers again so that you can follow up with them and get connected with some of the things they're connected with. I know one of the other things that, when we talk about education, there's been a lot of rallies going on. People talking about charter schools and who's going to take over schools. Any comments you want to share on that or any thoughts?
Well, yeah, me personally, I don't really encourage rallies per se. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a group of people coming together with like minds, but we have to try to figure out how to fix the problem. Us coming together, rallying in front of these buildings, who's not listening to us, who cannot respond, who will not change anything for us, that's not helping us. We're not doing anything but wasting our energy. So now I say, after you get finished rallying, if that's what you want to do, go back and research and figure out how can you now create an impact to change that problem that you're out there rallying for.
You're going deep,
So that's all I have to
That's
say.
what we do, man. We do that very excellent.
Just like there's prayer is nothing without the works.
You got.
That rallying is nothing without
Yeah.
that paperwork.
Right, and you're raising a huge point because some people get all hyped and emotionalized up to go somewhere and shout to them empty buildings or those buildings where everybody done left, or to shout somewhere where whoever you're trying to get to ain't coming out. rather than
Nobody's
developing a
listening.
strategy
Right.
and engaging in work
Mhm.
that is more productive.
It'll put them in a position to make them listen to you.
Yeah.
Because see, now once you create a paper trail, just like it follows our children when they get suspended everywhere they go, that paper trail is going to follow them everywhere they go
Yeah.
as well.
That's
Everything
it.
they do, every job they try to get, just like, so now we have to start basically dishing out what we've been receiving for too long. Our
Indeed.
ancestors is asking for us to, we have to uplift
Yes,
their
it's time,
names.
man.
We
Right,
have
it's
to
time.
basically
Right.
reclaim what they lost. We gotta
Indeed.
restore the blood.
Yes,
The land is
let's
ours.
reclaim, restore.
And it really is your world. I mean, look,
It
everybody is recognizing that there's a changing of the guard.
Mhm.
And it don't just get handed to you. You got to earn it, and you got to show that you got something to bring to taking those reins.
Let me add this as well. Chantel has the author either work. You know what I'm saying? I consider that as being the torch pass to her. Getting the author
I
either
hear
work.
you.
How many individuals who can say they have that type of award?
I hear you.
She already had it. And she just living proof of that type of work that's has been put in for our people. And that's gonna be put in for our people.
You're right, because Dr. Eve is a legend, and how he stood up and what he did is in the same spirit of others who've done it. But for you to recognize that and be recognized, that's an anointing of a whole different piece, because everybody ain't got it. And people don't need to dismiss it, because here's the thing, your radiance shows that there's something that inspired y'all to do what you're doing. I mean, you don't just come out, and this shows the relationship of generation to generation, and that you didn't miss it. Because I know that y'all young folks out there thinking it's our time, it is your time, but your time is also shared with those who've been holding the time until you arrive to a point that you're ready to do something.
Right.
So just as Missy said earlier about her and Harper, is the we time, old and the young, because it's going to take all hands on deck to make change. And
we need y'all.
yeah,
Man.
yeah.
We need each other.
And that brings in my next point. I don't know if we're gonna go.
Yeah, go ahead. You keep running. We
All
fine.
right. I wanted to get with Betty Jean Grant and the We Are Women's Warriors and Eva Doyle on this education piece that we're formulating. Right now, we just met with the district stakeholder committee. It was very positive. The
School-based
committee,
management team.
Committee was very receptive to things me and Chantel was putting forth, and they was telling us, man, let's see some work get done. So now the ball is pretty much in me and Chantel's hand to do it. So we have a plan. We have a brilliant plan, and it is very detailed. And what I said Eva Doyle and Betty Jean for is because we want to host these community workshops that educate people about the school-based management teams. And I believe that those two individuals will be very instrumental with the community and getting the community this training. And Miss Eva Doyle, I wanted to get with her in regards to inform the community about the African Infusion Program, because it's definitely time. We're right next to some history right now.
Right.
The Colored Musicians Club, and then you have the
Buffalo itself, 50 years Club, Michigan Baptist Church, this whole
One
corridor.
of the oldest buildings that's
Indeed.
still standing in this city. Okay.
Y'all
In
hear,
fact-
y'all hear that? Look, they ain't reading that from no book. They
Okay.
talk about what they
Better
know.
see
This
your
is
steel
not.
plaques
Whoa.
on Michigan and
Indeed.
Broadway.
and shout out to Eva Doyle. I see you on the billboard right
Thank
there
you,
too, on
yes,
Broadway
with
in
Ida B.
Michigan.
Wells.
Yeah, listen to
Shout out.
it. Listen
Shout out to
to
them.
you see how radiant they are? We're going to be back. We're going
I
to go
challenged
to a
them
break.
to come up here and take a walk down Michigan and step on the footprints of the
There you go.
ancestors
Come on, everybody,
who
Buffalo.
took this trail.
All right, y'all
To
hear it?
freedom.
I ain't look. I don't have to wind them up. I ain't doing nothing. That's them. But we're going to a break, and we'll be back. You can join us 837-1112.
still plays on here all day, every day. Mixed UFO.
This Black History Moment is sponsored in part by Verizon Wireless, America's largest 4G LTE network.
Madam C.J. Walker developed and marketed a successful line of hair care products for African American women and also created a chain of beauty products in major cities across the United States, South America, and the Caribbean. By 1915, she was by far the wealthiest African American woman in the nation. Walker put her resources and fame to good use on the speaking circuit, encouraging other female entrepreneurs to establish businesses. Throughout her life, she proved to be a generous philanthropist, donating to the YMCA, YWCA, and helping to preserve the home of Frederick Douglass.
Mix 1080 AM WUFO salutes Black History Month by highlighting the achievements of great African Americans. For more Black History notes, meet us at WUFOAM.com. If you want to make your business, church, or organization known to the world, you need Pro Artwork. Call Lucas at Pro Artwork at 716-954-3148 today. He will design whatever you need. So for all your graphic design needs, call Pro Artwork today at 716-954-3148. That's 716-954-3148. Or email proartwork716@gmail.com. Pro Artwork, where they make ordinary brands extraordinary brands.
Do you recycle? Go green. Do you know the importance of recycling and the hazards of not doing so? Go green. We at the Gearhart Area Block Club is determined to maintain our sustainability, one neighborhood at a time. So here we go. Recycle your degradables and your biodegrades. Come on, we can save the world, y'all. It's not too late. To infinity, we got to maintain sustainability in order for our future to breathe. To keep the floor filling the trees, we got to reuse and reduce and recycle everything. And with the world on my team, this recycle. We can keep the world clean, go green. Going green is the theme. With your participation, we can keep the world clean, go green. Going green is the theme. With your participation, we can keep the world clean, go green. We going green on them, me and my team on them. We going green, go green. Going green is the theme. With your participation, we can keep the world clean, go green.
This is Attorney John Elmore. I've been an attorney for 30 years. Nothing angers me more than seeing injustice in the court system caused by lawyers who are incompetent, inexperienced, or simply do not care. I love this community. I care about my clients. I've earned their respect in the legal community because of my work ethic and honesty. If you're injured in an accident, call me at 300-0000. I will meet with you free of charge in your home or hospital if necessary. My law partner Steve Boyd and I have the experience to get you the money that you deserve. If injured in an accident, call me, John Elmore, at the $3 million phone number, 300-0000. That's 300-0000.
In your mix every day from sun up to sundown. Then live on the internet, WUFOAM.com. 24 hours of power. Mix 1080 WU.
Hey, we're back and you're listening to Conversations with Jim Anderson, and in the house is Missy Recycle Chantel and Say Buffalo First, Brother Harpo. And I got to ask you, now I heard that beat, got to go green, clean, and recycle. Who is that and where did it come from?
Well, that's one of my songs.
That's you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That's you?
Yes.
Wow, nice. I mean, listen.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, that's in the key. Listen, everybody in our community is not talking with that depth of understanding about recycle and the renewables and what we need to do to sustain what's happening. I'm telling you, look, you're the first young persons of color that I've seen dropping on it. And I ain't, excuse my language, but I'm bringing it like I know it. I have not seen a groundswell of people of color, adults much older than you, rise to this. So not only am I impressed, but I mean, that is the best I've heard in terms of drawing folks in. You know, that need to be playing more often on all the stations in Buffalo and Sierra Club and all the clean energy folk. Here we are. You know, you need to. We're going to talk more about it, but talk to me about some of that.
Well, that's what we call our public service announcement. That's our sustainable anthem. That's our way of calling people to the table, bring forth attention, making them aware of the importance of recycling and the hazards of not doing it. We want to actually do a video incorporating a lot of the people in the community, bringing us all together, showing how, you know, if we can come together, like I said, I got the whole world on my team, so we can't go wrong if we all come together. But, you know, my inspiration, first of all, was my grandfather. He encouraged me to recycle. I grew up on recycling. So
Call his name.
Leroy Franklin, may he rest in peace. That is my grandfather. He was my inspiration. Definitely one of the ancestors that the spirit that I'm moving off of, for sure. But he inspired me to basically be my own person, to always question things, never take no for an answer, and, you know, do your research. So that's what I grew up on, and I grew up on recycling as well. Everything in my house was basically recycled, but I can't say that it was trash.
No.
Because one man's trash ended up being another person's treasure. Because I treasured those things that he brought in, because if it was broken, he could fix it. And it was like brand new. So that's why I say, when I say I can live without money, I can live without money.
You see why y'all rare? I mean, you don't hear folks talking like, you know,
my grandfather talking about survive.
This is sweet.
I know, man. I gotta live with this type of positive energy every day. It's like, man.
I mean, it's the cutting.
So great.
Listen, everything is going the way of recycled and renewable, and for you to be up on it, imagine what would do if a lot of other young folks and some older folks got in that group.
Well, that's what we're out here for. We're trying to encourage as many people as possible to step outside of the box, learn how to think for themselves, you know. That's very important. And when I say recycle, we have our own 3 R's, okay? And it's rescue, reclaim, and restore. That's what we're all about. So it's not just about recycling the garbage, but we want to recycle the knowledge and the love. Because we need all of the above in order for us to
across
sustain.
every plane, y'all, from whether it be object, whether it be people, whether it be the environment around us.
That's right.
You know,
because if you think about it, the things that were instilled in, say, me or you as a child through our grandparents and things like that, they're not being instilled anymore. So now, if I can take what I learned from my grandfather and instill it in another child, then I'm recycling that knowledge.
Each one teach one.
That's right. And that's what it's about. We lost that. We need to bring our village back. Our village has crumbled, and we need to build it back up. That's why I went to construction school with the outsource center, and then became vice president.
And that's why they have spirit of fire, vision,
we about to get it popping in Buffalo. We about to bring Buffalo back.
The outsource center, we got this stand up
That's
Buffalo,
right.
New
Every
York
other
challenge,
Saturday.
You know what I mean? Challenging Buffalo to start, you know, doing more positive things in the community.
That's right.
We be meeting at the outsource center on Saturdays around 1. You know what I'm saying? Every so often, man. So
every other
Saturday.
Saturday.
You go to Save Buffalo First page, you can see how we doing this.
So they can go to Facebook and go to
Save Buffalo First.
Go to Save Buffalo First. And what's the phone number that they need to give you a call to invite you somewhere? And if you invite them, do them right. I'm just saying. Okay.
235-9717. And if you already know, if you're in Buffalo, the area code is 716. And also
462-1565.
And you can hit us up on Facebook. I'm under Missy Recycle. We also have the Stand Up Buffalo Challenge also. Stand Up Buffalo New York Challenge. It's a like page.
We do a lot of research. Yeah, we do a lot of research, so we post a lot of our Wikipedia research on our Yup Buffalo page. You know, detailing history, a lot of things in history people are not knowledgeable of. So
that's right here in Buffalo.
Yeah,
we have such a rich history here in Buffalo. Those people have no clue.
I've seen your page, you know, listen, and you know, folks, you need to go and check it out because they bring up some things that I know some of y'all thought y'all knew or remember once about a time, but I'm talking about the mix that they bring, whether it's the old and the new, is in the key of life. And I'm just telling you, the spirit of these two, man, if we got more, because they're just two among the many that we have in Buffalo, of young, black, just smart, sharp.
That's right.
Lorraine Hansberry would say, young, gifted, and black.
Talented
already. Yeah, that's right.
We still got some business to take care of.
Yes, sir.
This recycle. Tell us about this Paladino situation you had.
Well, there's some issues going on with, most people know that Carl Palladino is on the Buffalo Public School Board, and there's a major issue that the community has with him as a whole, because he speaks of, he makes derogatory statements. There's several things that, we as a community are not in agreement with, and I believe that the board is condoning his behavior. So therefore, I bring the board's competence in question, because we went to the ethics and we put a complaint in on Carl Palladino. We listed all of the things that, we had proof on. There's news articles about him being a racist. I can go and Google him right now, and you can go to him a post where he made a derogatory statement about the president. He's making pictures, calling him monkeys and things like that. But he's disrespecting women here in Buffalo, New York, and that's not acceptable. These are women that were on the board. These are women that were once a superintendent here. He uses bullying tactics and things like that. But I want you to know right now today that we are not afraid of him, and we're going to try everything in our powers to get him out of here, because he's trying to just destroy our school systems, first of all. He has a vested interest in these charter schools, so therefore, I feel as though him being on the board is a conflict of interest within itself. But if the board members don't see it that way, that's fine. I guess the OCR will have to come in and prove that.
I hear you. You're raising points in the depth of your understanding about what's going on. And you got a lot of folks who got their heads stuck in the ground and who are not weighing in on this issue. And this is serious, because what folks need to remember, when you think about Sister Carol Horn, the officer involved, we'll be going to the cause in a moment, the officer involved in that situation came up later, and you found a whole lot of concerns about the way he engaged in communities of color. You bring up the issue with Palladino and the emails and the other things that he has been doing. Someone else the other day brought up the issue, at Roswell Hospital. They got a doctor who was sued. He's in a leadership position for some very negative behavior. Lost the case, but he's still on the scene. And what, in essence, I hear you saying, and what I hear you saying is that these groups, whether it be the school board or any other thing, need to get these folks out.
Right.
And that's a serious issue, because we are in a city where racism has abounded all over the nation, and no one can deny that its effect has been bad, not only on blacks, on young whites, and on old whites too. And man, it's an issue. We're gonna go to the phones and let some folks get in here and talk to you. Caller, you're on the air. Hey, Miss Doyle. Yes, indeed.
No doubt. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know it. I know the world is calling. I meant to tell you that.
No doubt. Thank you.
Please do. Sam Cooke. I was born by the river.
Okay. 3 o'clock.
We will be there.
Yeah, we will be in front of No doubt.
Yeah, that's
Thank
right.
you.
Be willing to take some of that off your plate as well. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thank
we-
you.
New York.
I'm doing like that, you know.
Thank you, Miss Doyle.
Miss Doyle is referencing on Channel 2. Got another call? Okay. On Channel 2 yesterday, they ran a piece of me fussing out about the VA not
I
shutting
saw
in
it.
front of the bus stop and stuff. But listen, what I want you to know, let me show you how deep and how ready these two individuals are. Now, you know, on the news station, they've been running about how businesses are not shoveling around and, you know, clearing fire hydrants in front of their businesses. And then, as you saw on Channel 2, the VA, which is a lousy community neighbor, have not been doing what it needs to do. And these two, Missy Recycle and Save Buffalo First, Chantel and Harpo, have been going around compiling their own photo journal of areas in the community where we're running into these problems. And I mean, the NFTA, for instance, all these bus stops that are unshoveled, fire hydrants, you would think that the city, the mayor, or any council person could hire some crews in the community, quadrant off areas for them to be responsible for clearing, get NFTA to partner with them.
Don't they have a Buffalo Impact team?
Yeah, but the impact team don't do that. And in fact, you know, even if you're a senior and you need some help shoveling, the city says call 311. When you call 311, here's what they tell you. They say, well, we'll put your name on the list, and if we get somebody to volunteer, we'll tell them, but you need to know they may come or they may not come.
That's not it.
That's not good. That's it, right.
not a
And I'm
guarantee.
just saying, here we are talking about jobs. This is a jobs program, and you got two people already engaged. So I'm just dropping and pulling the coat on council people and the mayor. You know, you need to think about hooking up with them. They got a plan. Is that okay? We're gonna. Is it call on me? Call. We're gonna go to the phone. Caller, you on the air? Hey, brother.
Hello.
Work together because working together does work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. And the other thing I want to say is that people need to address the article that was the front page of Sunday's paper in terms of people who are wrongly convicted in this city, because that's an issue that nobody seems to want to take on. We have many examples, John Walker included, and his brethren who are wrongly convicted. People in this criminal justice system are making their bones and their reputation and retiring on the suffering of people. So that issue of wrongly convicted, I think, is also, you know, part of the whole process, that whole school to prison pipeline, and then people who were just railroaded, you know, straight up railroaded, you know. But I'm going to hang up and listen, but I just want to congratulate the couple and the hard work that they do, and it's so good to see people working together.
Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you, brother. So, I was mentioning about what y'all were doing on your photo stuff and everything, but I want you to take it to where you want to take it. You were going to go with...
Yeah, I wanted to, because the community needs this education. What me and Jim...
Can I just say one thing before we kind of like go away from the subject that Jim just touched on? Now, we were talking about the bus stops not being plowed and things like that. Now, I recall hearing on the news that the city is stating that if the homeowners don't plow and shovel, that they're going to fine them. Right?
Yeah, give them tickets.
Yeah, they're giving them tickets. So now who's going to ticket the city? Because they have a lot of property out here in the hood that they own who's not being shoveled, and we got to stumble over and, you know what I'm saying? So now who is holding them accountable for their property? Who's holding these NFTA accountable for their bus stops that they supposed to be monitoring and maintaining?
Yeah,
now,
they break on the people, don't they?
Yeah, that's the issue that I have. I mean, it's a contradiction.
It is. And, you know, when you be shoveling, you shovel your lot, and look how the plow trucks drive through. They don't push it out of the way. They shoot it all up on the street and everything. And I mean, you know, and this is such a reality, and this is why people gotta push back. They gotta stand up, they gotta speak up, and they gotta push back. This is what Missy and Save Buffalo is doing.
I encourage them to start calling 311 more often, and make sure when you call, you get a reference number. That's the only way you're going to be tied to that call, is if you get a reference number. Do not let them let you off that phone without giving you a reference number, because there will be no record of you calling. Okay? And keep calling if you have to. Now, also, after you call, I want you to notify the city clerk of the problem, because they're supposed to notify city clerk, but they don't. And they tell you one call does it all. Don't believe that, because it's not.
Right,
They're throwing you off. They're trying to throw you off to prevent you from doing your part. I had to discover it the hard way. So now I'm trying to give you a little tip. You want to get paid for your car getting messed up on these streets? Start calling 311, documenting it, and also report it to city clerk's office. Once the city clerk has documented it, it's on file, and they have to render that problem within a year. And if they don't, you get paid for your vehicle being damaged, because it's their responsibility to maintain these streets. Now, they want to hold us accountable for our property that we own. They're going to have to start being held accountable for what they own.
Hey, didn't I tell you, they see with their own eyes, they know with their own mind, and they are engaged with their own hand. We're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back, and they're going to take us high as we go onwards.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some law firms advertise their size as a good thing. But the car accident and injury lawyers at Gelber and O'Connell believe that bigger isn't always better. When you need personal medical attention, you don't look for the largest doctor's office. When you need personal tax advice, you don't look for the largest accounting firm. So, when you need a personal injury attorney, go to the law firm that provides the personal attention you deserve. Don't get lost in the shuffle if you are injured in a car accident. Call Gelber and O'Connell for a free consultation. 633-5050.
But just pull it closer.
Call Buffalo Transportation, 716-877-5600. That's 716-877-5600. They will handle all of your transportation needs. Hate waiting for the bus.
Oh, I'm gonna be late for work again.
Or did it roll right past you?
I know that bus driver saw me.
Car won't start.
And definitely, whenever you want to play the recycle song, I can
Tired of inconveniencing friends and family. Well, Buffalo Transportation has got you covered. Buffalo Transportation accepts all major credit cards and also unique campus cash, plus state bingo dollars, and conditions on choice cards. So if you need a ride, give Buffalo Transportation a call, 7756.
Ever had trouble cashing a check or paying too much to do it? Ever waited days while your bank owes you money until the check clears? Forget about the guys who charge ridiculous fees of more than 5 or 10% of everybody that to cash a check. Never pay an overdraft fee. Keep more money in your pocket. Visit Buffalo Check Cashing, 1325 Jefferson Avenue. Buffalo Check Cashing will cash your check for 1.86%, the maximum amount allowed by law. They cash payroll checks, Social Security, disability checks, 401k, pension settlement checks from lawyers and insurance companies. Don't forget about your income tax refund. Buffalo Check Cashing will turn your income tax check into cash today with the same low fee, 1.86%. So if you need to cash a check, look for the largest and most established state licensed check casher inside Buffalo for 35 years. Now, an authorized Verizon payment center. Go ahead and it's fast, it's easy. Turn your check into cash today and never pay more than you need to. Buffalo Check Cashing, 1325 Jefferson Avenue. Monday through Saturday. For this phone call, 888-2030.
way
Buffalo
that
Check
you
Cashing, the
honor
original and
earning
best.
and support your own community.
If you want to make your
And I
business,
guarantee
church,
you,
or
if they
organization
just do a
known to the
pilot
world,
to see
you
how
need
beautiful
Grow
it's
Artwork.
blown,
Call
they
Lucas
don't
at
wanna
Grow
take
Artwork
it
at
further.
716-954-3148 today. He will design whatever you need. So for all your graphic design needs, call Grow Artwork today at 716-954-3148. That's 716-954-3148. Or email growartwork716@gmail.com. Grow Artwork, where they make ordinary brands extraordinary
But
brands.
we're going to say for the next period of while it's snowing, we're going to show why we should get paid to work with these young people.
Shout it out.
Hey.
Double impact.
Ah, it's nice. You know, we're back, and the music you hear is music that come right out of their environment.
Buffalo, New York, baby.
I'm telling you, I told you they're multi-talented, they're creative. And you know, the beauty about being a shoulder for young folks like this is that you're lifting up something good, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they don't want to lift up nobody. But this is what we need to do. Look, you don't get to rise on your own. It takes a community to help lift us off. And we need to lift some people who deserve to be lifted. And I'm telling you, you're going to see me doing a whole lot of what I'm going to call a shoulder program, because we need some living shoulders to hold up these living, young, here and now leaders who are doing a whole lot more than some of the myths that some of the folks claim they have done. You know, when in 1967, when Dr. King was here, a lot of people didn't want to embrace him and get around him. And a lot of clergy didn't want to be near him. But after he died, you know, everybody got a story about they were down with him. Well, we don't need no more war stories like that where you're telling a tale. You need to be down with these young folks. You done heard Missy Recycle, and you done heard Save Buffalo Saved, and go to Save Buffalo on Facebook, and you can get them, and you can call them. And you can call them at
235-9717 or 462-1565.
Indeed. Now, the rest of this show, I'm going to let them take over the mic and bring what they want to bring, say what they want to say. And you know, at some point as we wind down, they got some shout outs that they need to spread the love, you know.
That's right.
And so it's all yours.
Well, I wanted to introduce we have a recycling program going on right now where we're asking for donations. We have a list of things that we take. You can drop the items off at 1649 Fillmore. That's the outsource center where I am the vice president of. So we have a program out of the outsource center for Yup Buffalo. It's the Yup Entrepreneurial Empowerment Program, where we're encouraging the youth to be entrepreneurs, self-sufficient, to learn how to maintain on their own. So we have all type of programs up under this entity, green entrepreneurship. We have a button and t-shirt making thing. We're doing so much. But right now what we're asking for is we need donations. We're trying to keep moving, and you know, we're not getting really too much help from outer entities. Everything that we do, all the money that we make goes right back into our business, our organization. So what we're doing right now is we're having a can and bottle drive. So we're asking that if you can save your cans and bottles for us, and you can drop them off at 1649 Fillmore, or you can give us a call at 235-9717 or 462-1565, and we can come and pick them up. Make arrangements, we'll come and pick them up. We also take clothes, cell phones, computers, fax machines, inkjet cartridges, you name it, we take it. We just want to make sure those items don't go into the garbage, because it's a hazard to the environment. And one man's trash is always another man's treasure. So what they can't use, someone else could. So please, 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 guys, we need your help. Help us help you. So all we're asking for is a 5-cent can or bottle that you might throw away. Something that people throw away every day on the ground and think nothing about. But that can help save another person's life. That can help put another person through construction school. That 5 cents can go a long way. So
I ain't telling them nothing, y'all. That's with their own mind, their own eyes, their own hearts, and their own hands that's doing it.
Right.
And we all need to be the shoulders, and we need to put something in the box to help help them go higher, farther, and do more.
Definitely.
Wow.
So I just wanted to touch on that before we go. You know, please reach out.
Yeah, man. Support us, man. We have this thing, this new situation going on. We're working with the Buffalo Public Schools, and what we're going to start doing is have more school-based management training orientation.